This podcast contains explicit content.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.
My God, are you still talking?
Hear more at hardlyfocused.com.
Hey, we're Hardly Focused. Thank you for checking us out. You can get us at hardlyfocused.com on most of the podcast apps. For some reason, we're not on Spotify anymore. I'm trying to find out what happened there. And we're on YouTube. And buy my microphone. I'm selling my Electro Voice RE320 with its shock mount. Asking price is $200. So
we'll take $5 and a crisp blowjob.
Listen, those things are very expensive to begin with. $200 for the microphone plus a shock mount is a steal. So,
but please don't actually steal it from him. He can't defend himself. He's weak.
Yeah. So my Facebook is back because I've been using Marketplace to sell shit. And look me up on Marketplace. Look up Jack Gill. And
it's because his OnlyFans isn't working out as well as he thought it would.
I turned Facebook back on so I could sell. I had two office chairs in the studio that I no longer have.
Two turning chairs and a microphone. Where it's at.
Yeah. I made
a joke.
I had a lot of chairs, so I put them on Craigslist, and then I put them on Facebook. And ironically, I put them on Facebook because I wasn't getting any traction on Craigslist. And then go figure, the second I turned my Facebook back on after not having it for over a month and feeling really good about myself, someone on Craigslist reaches out to me and buys both the chairs. And here's the cherry on top. Shows up to my place to pick the chairs up. First question, is that your car? He's looking at my car in the driveway. And I'm like, yeah. And then he points to the bumper sticker I have on it, and he says, I love Fallout. Because I have a Vault Boy on my car. So, boy, is that always just a fun icebreaker. It's always the people you least expect to, like Mike Terrara.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there's that. Also, eBay can shove a fat one up its own ass. Fuck eBay.
Hey, E-boy? Yeah, buddy?
I'm selling this microphone on Facebook Marketplace because I tried to put it on eBay. I've had an eBay account for over 10 years at this point. I've put things up for sale on eBay, but then I've taken the listings down because then they've sold elsewhere, like on Craigslist or Facebook. I put the microphone on eBay on my account, and then a couple times over the course of an hour, I get a notification that I've been logged out of my account and that my password has been changed on me for my safety.
Okay.
For the safety of your account, your password has been changed. Basically, eBay thought that I had hacked my own account or that someone hacked my account, and then they suspended it. They blocked it. And they won't unblock it.
Well, that's not cool, man.
I have no idea because I've purchased things on eBay with no problem. I've never had an issue before putting things up for sale. Like I said, I've never actually completed a sale on eBay because whatever I've been selling ended up selling somewhere else. But then
complete that sale.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but eBay can go fuck itself. So here I am using Facebook Marketplace like a plebeian.
Like a two-bit whore.
I will respect it, but I got a bite on the microphone asking if I'd be willing to sell just the shock mount. Like, no, dude, buy both.
Just the shock mount. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
The shock mount is like $100.
That's why.
Get the I'm almost giving you the shock mount for free. Like, just buy the microphone and you get the shock mount. And you need that shock mount too. You need that thing. So anyway, buy my microphone. That's what I'm saying. Buy my microphone. And fuck eBay. Speaking of broadcast microphones and broadcasting in general, since 1981 here in the city of Boston, on KISS 108, that's 107.9, not actually 108.
It's because 108 doesn't exist.
Since 1981, the morning show has been helmed by Matt Siegel, who today, the 3rd of May, May 3rd, 2022, Matt Siegel has retired. He has left. He has proverbially left the building. The man has been broadcasting from Florida since COVID began. So, Matt Siegel. So, I'll start off by saying Matt Siegel, that 40 years doing the same show on the same station in the same city, in a top 10 market especially, is unheard of. That doesn't happen in radio. I don't think that's happened anywhere in radio. He's rivaled by Greg Hill, who I think is probably going to pull that feed off.
Of the same market.
Yeah. And the difference between the two is that Matty actually had radio experience too. He worked at other radio stations, landed at KISS 108, and then never left. KISS 108 for a long time also was the #1 rated station in Boston, and it's no longer. And he was doing very well. They never got rid of him. So,
if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So, I mean, it works.
Yeah. So, respect to him for pulling that off and being able to be around as long as he was. That said,
I knew that was coming. That being said,
the man is 72 years old, and he is on a CHR adult contemporary radio station where the demographic is it's younger people,
slightly younger than 71.
The man has aged out, and he aged out a long time ago. And it just, I don't know, there's something cringy about being a 72-year-old man who calls himself Matty. I don't know, that's just weird. Not to mention, he was unlistenable in my opinion. Every time I'd be driving into work back when I drove into work, and I'd put on KISS 108, just for the fuck of it.
I never listened to it, but Sarah would in the morning. She goes, yeah, I could get about 10 minutes and then have to change it. I'm like, yeah, I agree.
It was unlistenable. As his career, what he's done, and the things that he would do for the city and for others. Okay, that's fine. I respect that. But there are clips on YouTube from the 80s of Matty's show and in the 90s where, okay, he sounds fine. And then there are clips from the last 5 years, the last 10 years. I was listening to a clip today from 2009. Dude, you should have hung it up a long time ago. I think when you're in that position and you're at a station like that, you should have hung it up. Stay in radio, but go somewhere else. Go to WBZ. Go to RKO. Go somewhere where you can fit better with people your age when you're 72. Because his show, he would just it wasn't like shock jock stuff, but it had its moments of being edgy, and it just gets to a point where it's not funny anymore when you're that age. So
almost starting out edgy and then realizing it's not going to work, and you get wonder if there's a correlation somewhere that we can have in our lives that kind of mirrors that. It's eluding me.
So I have some audio of Matty's last day, which again was today. So what happened was, I guess what happened, there's no record of this. It's all just things that I've been seeing on Twitter from reputable sources, one of which being Kirk Minihane, that I guess on the 19th or the 18th, around then, Siegel and his co-host Lisa Donovan got into an on-air spat about something. And then since the 19th, both of them have been off the air. And it was attributed to dealing with quote unquote family issues. Now it's been confirmed that Lisa Donovan's mother is indeed ill.
Okay.
And she lives out of state, I think in South Carolina. I might be wrong, but that's where Lisa's been. And then there was no actual chatter about Siegel. I'm going to call him Siegel instead of Matty. I don't want to call him Matty because he's 72 years old. Even though that's what everyone... If I say Matty, people are going to be like, oh, Matty in the morning? Hey, I listen to him all the time. Yeah, I love Matty. Yeah, LB is my favorite. Yeah, someone... I can't remember. I was working an AAF event. Oh, it was AC/DC when they played at Gillette Stadium like 13 years ago or whatever. And... dude comes up to the tent and he's like, oh, WAF, I love you guys. I love your station. You have the greatest morning show. Oh my God. I love Carlson. I love Mackenzie. Oh, and I just straight up told him.
Drunk or an asshole?
I'm just an idiot because I straight up told him, like, that's not us, bro. That's ZLX. And he walked away like with his tail between his legs. I think I ruined that guy's day because whoever I was working with also looked at me. He's like, dude, you should have just let him go with it. He was really excited. Like,
well, just because you're an excited idiot doesn't mean you don't need to get corrected.
Jesus Christ! Like excited, like when people get excited because they're I met Chris Tucker. Like, no, you met Kevin Hart.
There's a 4-foot difference between the two.
So anyway, so chatter comes out about a week ago, and Minahan actually being one of the ones to reveal this, is that Siegel is going to make an announcement after being away for over a week, and the rumor becomes that he is retiring. And the retirement announcement then was made today. So almost like worst kept secret, I guess, because again, the guy's old. And he's had
some surgeries.
Yeah. He's had some surgeries.
Health conditions.
Yeah. So anyway, here's the audio of Siegel's retirement announcement. Here we go.
I love you, and it's been a hell of a run, but I think it's coming to an end. And Bill and Lisa and Bex, and Dom, I hate putting you in this position, but I was told by my boss I cannot talk about what I want to talk about. And by the way, it's a joke, the whole binary thing. I don't care what Demi Lovato does. But now we have to worry about you might offend someone. So I basically offended right-wing people, and today I offended left-wing people. So basically what they want me to do is to be, a lightweight show. We have that in the market. We have Magic. We have Knicks. We have radio stations that don't offend anybody. This was the Maddie in the Morning Show, the #1 radio show in the history of Boston radio, okay? Bigger than Jeff Skane and Dave Maynard and Charles Locke Rivera and all of the radio giants in Boston. I am the biggest of all time. And they said, shut up, Matt. Stop talking. Well, I hope you're happy because I just stopped talking. Maddie out.
Well, two things.
I see what you did there.
Two things. One, that's not actually the retirement announcement. That was a retirement announcement, but that was not the retirement announcement. B, I like how he calls himself the #1 radio show in Boston, of all time or whatever, and then lists several radio figures that are either dead or haven't been in the business in
20 years.
Yeah. #1.
It's been 84 years.
I think I want to say ROR has been consistently #1, even with the morning show shakeup a couple of years ago. They've been consistently #1, and then for the I think the 2554 demo, that's been Toucher and Rich, like no contest.
Oh my God, they've got what, 20% market share?
They're like surpassing Stern at this point for the share that they're pulling in. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
That's some big dick energy right there.
Right.
Now Sarah had a theory that it was because he wasn't on, there was something that went on behind the scenes, and it was either you're calling your retirement now or we're firing you for something else.
what I've read today on Twitter and the chatter I'm seeing is very likely that. The spat between him and Lisa Donovan that I mentioned earlier, I guarantee you, because iHeartMedia owns Kiss, and I guarantee you someone high up at iHeart said, dude, either walk or we're firing you. Like, you're done. Like, we're done.
Because
we're
he
sick of you.
said something else or did something else that was way too over the line for what he is pulling in for numbers, probably.
Yeah. And it, like I said, also gets to a point when you're a certain age.
Yeah. Yelling at the clouds, right?
Right. It gets to be a certain age, and it's no longer funny. It's no longer entertaining radio, and these weren't bits either.
No, it was just angry old man.
Yeah. So the audio I played was from last year, from 2021, when it was the day that Demi Lovato came out as non-binary. And they, right? They.
Is that when she became they? They're like, and then it was like, and he's like, no, she's a she. I'm not using non-binary pronouns. Is that, or if I remember correctly, is that what it was?
That, okay. And he was just joking about it, and it was a lot of humor that, you know, folks would consider not to be PC.
Boomer humor, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Boomer humor.
Yeah, it's almost the same reason why like Hillman is doing mornings at EEI now, because Jerry Callahan and John Dennis and then later Minahan were not their opinions. Well, Minahan has his own issues, but and by the way, there's this video of Toucher going off on Minahan before Minahan was fired, and everything that Fred said, like Fred saying all these things are going to happen to Minahan that Entercom was going to do to him, and they all ended up happening like 6 months later. Fred's like, this is going to happen, and he never calls him out by name, but he's like, this is going to happen. You are no longer going to have a job in this market by the end of the year, and that's exactly what happened. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But like Callahan and Dennis, they both were very conservative, and Callahan's Twitter profile, like the blurb, the bio mentioned something about like 4 years old is too young to be transgender or something like that. So yeah, you get to be a certain age, and again, and for the what you're doing, if you want to have those opinions, do the overnight show on BZ. Don't do morning drive on a CHR station or a sports station. The only person who could be on a sports station and pull that kind of stuff off was Imus.
Yeah, even that was getting a little old.
And Imus, too, was given a second chance after, you know, his own mishaps.
Just stop talking, you moron!
Was that also about those nappy-headed hoes over at Rutgers?
Yeah, you said it, man.
I'm all right. One of them cars doing.
Anyway, so the clip that I play, it's Demi Lovato comes out. Matt Siegel's ripping on it. He's riffing on it, voicing his opinions, and then someone at iHeart shut the segment down, and he went on a diatribe, basically quit on air and ended the show like early in the 9 o'clock hour. With like more than 40 minutes left. So, and even like more than 40 minutes left. He was doing like
vamp. We got a vamp.
I guarantee you with the length of breaks, no less than like 20 minutes per day at that point in total. So he comes back the next day. He announces like, look, I didn't actually quit. I talked it out. Management's going to let me do whatever. I'm not actually leaving.
Well, I hope you're happy as I just stopped talking. Patty out.
And then within a week of that happening, he then on air berates one of his producers because she didn't post the audio from that day's show as a podcast, as they do every day. And you notice that the audio quality of that clip was awful.
Yep, because you had to record it from your radio.
Record it, yeah, from your radio with your kids screaming in the background. So that's the only audio we have of it. So he rips apart his producer on air, and he was just being a dick. At that point, like, I couldn't even defend him. Yeah, he was just being an irrational dick to this lady. And then she ended up leaving the show like a month or two later, and she got like a morning She's like hosting a morning show in Pennsylvania now, I think in Philly. So she ended up, and she left. She claimed because like COVID and her family and all this different stuff. Like, no, it's because Maddie
is a dick.
Yeah, because Siegel chewed you out on air, and you did the right thing by leaving. Because no one should stand for that. So that happens. Then, fast forward to this year, the thing between Siegel and Lisa Donovan, I guess, happened that no one has any audio of, but people are talking about it. So today, after not being around for a week and a half, Matt Siegel officially retires. So
I'm done with this bullshit.
So I got the actual audio here, and I'll start off by saying that the first voice you're going to hear is his co-host, Billy Costa. Billy Costa, I guess, will be taking over the show. Billy Costa.
At least on a temporary basis until they find a replacement.
So Boston Radio Watch, who fantastic account that you should follow, but whoever that guy is just fucking hates WEI. No one knows who it is, and I have a theory that it's Hillman.
The irony.
Because only Greg Hill.
The calls are coming from inside the house.
Only Greg Hill could come up with a nickname like Greg Downhill. But anyway, they posted
Reno Gold.
When they post stuff, it's usually accurate. They were posting about the retirement stuff before it was announced, and they said that there will be no syndicated show like Elvis Duran or whoever is not going to be taking the morning slot at KISS.
Just fucking good, because goddamn syndicated shows in the morning fucking blow.
Well, Billy Costa says he's, quote, inheriting the morning show. I don't know if it's temporary or permanent, but here's the thing. Billy Costa is 70 years old. He is 2 years younger than Matt Siegel. So again, this is someone who is aged out of the demo. Who's aged out.
I think they know that, and they're looking for a more permanent replacement.
Yeah.
But they hey, he's here, he's going to take over, and then we'll find somebody else.
Yeah. Go like transition, I guess, like a long transition period with a familiar voice.
Yeah, they don't want to jar everybody. Like, hey, what's going on, guys? This wacky new guy. Like, whoa, what is this?
Jack Hill, Mike Terrara, KISS 108.
Hey, all right, guys. Hey, what's going on with the wacky Wednesday? Wild and fun. All right, guys. Hey.
Now, let me tell you what I think about non-binaries. But it's okay that he said that because he's in his 30s. There's a young person with an opinion. He's within the demo. It's okay.
Market cap, guys. Market cap.
Anyway, and I respect people of whatever their gender, whatever their orientation, however they identify. I have to give that disclaimer now. It's 2022.
Walking everything back.
It's fucking 2022. I have to start giving disclaimers about things. Everything I say is a joke. Don't take it seriously. Fucking
That's
hell.
all right. Jack has a black friend. That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Zach Ward, and you can hear him on the Ack and Jack show. AckandJack.com. That is ACCandJack.com. Hey, it's serious, man. I bought Zach a microphone recently.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I hooked him up. So, and we'll be doing an Ack and Jack this week. I as far as I understand it. So, be able to road test it. Hear how good he sounds. Do I have?
Last time Jack got road tested, it was 500 miles on a Peterbilt. Hey,
black people.
That's Zach. He's a man of color. I just want everyone to know. Anyway. So the clip I'm about to play is the actual retirement announcement. And the first voice you're going to hear is Billy Costa. And then it's Mr. Siegel. So here we go.
Pretty interesting. We're actually going to be getting back to Maddie for the first time in a while. I know as listeners, you've been listening to the show for the past couple of weeks, and obviously you noticed that Matt hasn't been on the air, and you've asked a lot of questions. You've been very curious, and why not? Matt is a giant in our world. And out of fairness, we figured Matt would want to answer a lot of the questions on his own. We could have answered questions, but this is a Matt thing. So it's time to hear from Matt. Matt has a story to tell, and buddy, the microphone is all yours.
Hi, radio buddies. Thanks for tuning in.
Hold on, stop it right there. I like how he literally
I know what you're thinking.
tacked it to him, and then it's not he's not in studio. It's like, this is pre-recorded, man. This is fucking pre-recorded.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I got thoughts on this whole thing about how they handled it, but yeah, that much pissed me off. It is such a rough transition. Like, even Billy should have known better, man. He should have known better that they were getting ready to play something canned. At least segue it better. I get it's tough, and in Billy, here I go calling him Billy, and he's 17 years old. Costa. I'm going to call him Costa. He knows what's coming, and it has to be tough to be the one to set it up, but at least have a segue planned and not make it sound like you're now going to
the guy next to you in the chair. Yeah.
Or like coordinate with the dude ahead of time and just be like, hey, so we're going to do this thing. Billy's going to throw it to you. So like start your thing off with, hey, thanks, Billy. Because wouldn't that be great if it was someone else throwing it to Siegel and then he goes, thanks, Billy. Okay, here we go.
The microphone is all yours.
Hi, radio buddies. Thanks for tuning in. I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. You're acting like everything's normal. Everything isn't normal, Matty. One thing, we're proud of you as your listeners, that you're always honest with us. Sometimes you say, well, two honest things and get yourself in trouble. I know, and I have been honest for the 41 years I've been with you, and so that will continue now. This past year has been a little rough for me. I had brain surgery. I had a broken foot. I started getting a little grumpy on the radio, which I hate, because all I want to do is make people laugh. That's my job, just to make people laugh. And I got off target, I guess you would say. I'm a lucky guy for a million reasons, but 5 of them are a great wife and 4 great kids. And my great wife and my great kids talked with me over the last several weeks and helped me come to a decision. And the decision is this: as of now, I am retired. Leaving Kiss 108 and starting my new life as a mediocre golfer. Okay, that's being kind. Let me rephrase. I'm starting my new retired life as a lousy golfer. But we decided it was time. I started at Kiss 41 years ago, and it wasn't my first radio job. So, add it up, I turned 72 years old this year. I mean, it's time. It's time.
With the dad humor there.
Well, of course, it wouldn't be.
Or the grandpa humor.
Without it, yeah. The great grandpa humor. Now, okay, go. You had some thoughts on it, right?
I did, yeah. So he mentioned that he had brain surgery. Like,
was that publicly known?
I had no idea, but that would. I mean, I don't know why he would have it. Like, I'm not going to just go out and say like, oh, Siegel had brain cancer, or whatever. But there could be something going on, man, that would result in that filter being lifted. And like with the way he reacted towards Bex, his producer, last year when he went off on her, like it's one of those things where if neurologically you're not all there, if things are starting to fall apart up there, then like you kind of have to like don't take it personally, But you won't know that until oh, by the way, I had brain surgery because they took a thing off my brain.
Now, what I may have an insight on, for personal reasons at this point, is could this, and maybe the brain surgery is the catalyst for it, or maybe it's a symptom of it, but he's 71, right? 72?
72, yeah.
What happens, what about dementia?
Yeah.
Onset dementia, where you've got that kind of the angry dementia patient.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. I mean, when you have those it gets severe. But when that first outburst of just that cantankerousness, instead of just letting stuff roll off your shoulders, you kind of get that anger at it, and like
you're still like you're lucid enough, like you're cognizant of what you're doing and saying, but you're then the rational part is gone.
Yeah. You're aware of everything. It's just that your reactions are more severe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say that he was a flight risk, and iHeart they hit the panic button and said, "Dude, you're done." Like too many incidents. The Demi Lovato thing, going off on Bex right afterwards, and then whatever happened between him and Lisa a few weeks ago. iHeart had to have stepped in and said, "We can't do this anymore, dude. Like you're gonna get us in trouble."
Yeah, like we have to pull the plug. Don't make us fire you. Basically, is what they probably were.
What sucks? Like the man should have deserved more than. In total, it was an 8-minute long announcement. Maybe a little less. I don't know. The audio in total is about 8 minutes. There's I only played the first couple minutes of it, but 41 years, dude. Like you deserve more than that. And
yes, he did. But it's one of those things where it's kind of the what have you done for me lately, or what has happened lately, where it kind of indicates how you're going out.
Yeah, because it's a symptom of corporate radio at this point. This happened with Kevin Ryder a few years ago when Odyssey, formerly Intercom, fired him from K-Rock. And it was right at the onset of the pandemic. And Mike, the last time I saw you in person, we did an in-person podcast together. We played that audio of Kevin, because Kevin was his whole show was fired, and then he was allowed to go in and do a live break to say goodbye after 30 years at K-Rock, and they didn't vet his statement ahead of time, and he just went off to the point where building security escorted him out.
Hey man, it's kind of like Airheads.
Yeah.
A movie that I saw way too young and did not appreciate. But my God, when you review it back now, fucking corporate shit, like absolutely. You see that happening, you're like, fuck this, let's burn this mother to the ground. I got the microphone, you're going to have to pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
Yep. And then Lauren Owens from WROR, Lauren Wally. Same deal. Like his last on-air break of his last show is when he revealed and announced that his contract wasn't renewed and it was his last day. And it was a shock announcement for everybody. And he's was older at the time than Siegel is now. And at that point, I think now this was before the pandemic, and could have been money related. It could have been like, hey, dude, I'm 75 or whatever. I want to broadcast from home. And they were probably like, broadcast from home? Never.
Crazy?
And then the pandemic happened, and he probably could have gotten his way. But, and I think he left on better terms, where he wasn't going to just disparage the company or those around him. I have a feeling with Siegel, they had to vet his audio and make sure that he didn't say anything stupid.
Yeah, that's 100% why it didn't go live.
Yep. And there's a transcript on Kiss 108's website, and he's very sincere. They probably told him, like, go on for as long as you want. And he was very thankful. He didn't have
go on for as long as you want. Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad word to say. He thanked Billy Costa. He thanked Lisa. He wasn't like he didn't. One thing, he didn't mention Bex by name because she doesn't work on that show anymore. But like,
you could have.
That would be a really shitty thing. Don't just like lump her in with the people when you're mentioning my past co-hosts and producers and what. Like, no, call her out by name, especially with the way you treat her on air. Anyway, so that's that. That's 40 years. That's 40 years later. That's an institution in Boston radio that is moved on. So, when Toucher and Rich were talking about this, Rich was debating that Maddie's gonna reappear somewhere else, and
I have trouble getting behind that thought.
yeah, I disagree with him. I don't think he will.
Yeah,
he's 72.
Where else is an opening right now for him in the area? Because he's 72. He's not going to move. He's not going to move.
Well, no, he's in Florida. Remember, he lives in Florida.
So he could go anywhere he wants, but he's not going to I don't think anybody's going to hire him remote.
Right. Shout do radio in Florida. Do talk radio. Go.
He might, but
Florida has
old people.
Well, they have an FM hot talk station, which is unheard of these days. He could do well there with his opinions,
hot talk,
with his early onset dementia. He could do well there.
Not sure it's early onset when you're 72, man.
Yeah, well, it shows like Bubba the Love Sponge and Mike Calta. It's shows like ours, but not as good. He could,
but not as good. What's the term? Oh yeah, sucks.
I gotta we were on Bubba's station for a while, and it just wasn't good. We never the guy who hooked us up with the gig left the network shortly thereafter, and we would just get the worst feedback from these hicks on Twitter. And all right, we don't fit. We're not a good fit. I remember hearing Bubba on air give well wishes to Talk Show Meltdown or whatever they're called. Cool. You're clearly invested in care, so why should I? So, anywho, that's that. That is, me. I'm interested in the goings on of the radio business, and I think that means at this point, in terms of longevity, there might be someone else that I can't. If there is, I'm blanking on it, but I think that means that at this point, Greg is longest standing radio host in Boston for holding his position, and his tenure in the market and his tenure in the day part. But that's split between two stations. So there we go. That's that. We will regroup and we'll wrap things up. We'll wrap things up.
Rack 'em.
Okay. We will return. Stick around.
Well, I hope you're happy as I just stopped talking. Maddie out.
And we sing this morning that wonderful and grand old message.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.